Okay, so I appreciate you guys taking the test and everything on time. I still have a couple of people that need to take it. So I'm hoping they can get it, taken and done with today quickly so that I can open it up so you guys can look at what you got correct and what you got incorrect. I did score your tests already, so if nothing, you guys can at least see your score. So once everybody gets done, then I'll open it up so you guys can look at the correct answers and things like that. But let's kind of continue with chapter 5. So it feels weird that you just took your chapter 4 test yesterday, but yet we're taking our chapter 5 test on Tuesday already. So it's just everything moves super fast with this 3-period day. So 5.4 and 5.5 is what we're covering today. 5.4 is all about slopes, so it's very similar to what you guys had in 5.3. 5.5 is all about midpoint formulas. So these are the two topics we're covering today. So let's start with 5.4. .4, example 1. If I remember correctly, I believe 5.3 was you finding slopes from pictures. I don't think it was from numbers. I think it was just pictures. So 5.4 is going to be finding slope from 2 points. You absolutely have done this before, so this should be full review, but I'm going to cover it as if you don't know it. So then that way, if you don't remember it, then it's no loss. So let's say we have a line that goes through 4, -2, and -1, 2. The question would be to find the slope of the line that goes through these 2 points. Let's, you know what, I think that would be kind of a mean question to ask somebody. If you guys do remember it, that's what I was going to ask. But so if you guys do remember, the formula for slope between 2 points is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I guess the only thing we need to do is be able to figure out what these y2, y1, x2, x1 mean. Kira, do you think you could help me out? How do I know which one is x1, x2, y1, y2? Do you remember? Yep. Correct. So I'll call this point 1, point 2. That's basically where the 1s and 2s come from. You're right. So x1 would be the first x. x2 would be the second x. Excellent. Nice job. Ooh, that was a good pun. That was a really good pun. And, from there, we just have to plug in the numbers. So y2 was 2. y1 was -2. x2 is -1. x1 is 4. And then we just kind of find the answers. 2 minus -2 would be +2. So we'd get 4. -1 minus 4 would be -5. And so we get -4/5. Now, the only thing that most people do worry about is if they accidentally, have the points the opposite direction, right? And I'm sure you've already done this by now, but it doesn't matter if you have the points reversed. You'd get the same answer. So let's say I had the points reversed. I would end up with this. Oh, God, that was a bad -1, but whatever. The top would become -4, the bottom would become +5. So I would still get -4/5. So even if you have the points reversed, still works. Good. Kira, who's going to be the next person to help us out? Perfect. Okay, Sophie. Sophie, hardest question of the day. Are you ready? Good. Give me, I need 4 numbers. Good choice. Okay, excellent. Nice. Okay. Why don't you guys see if you can find the slope between these 2 points? And if it works out badly, we just blame Sophie. It's a great system. Caroline. Caroline, how did Sophie do in picking numbers? What did you get? Oh, all right. Do you want to just tell me what you're writing down, even if you don't have the answer? Or do you need some help? Oh, excellent job. Excellent job. Perfect. Nicely done. It's actually awfully close to the one we did for an example. So Sophie, good choice. It worked out decent. Okay, I'm going to guess you guys are pretty decent at doing that because you've done it in past years. We're kind of building off of that. Okay, so 5.4 example 2 is going to be from a picture, which awfully kind of feels like, whoa, that was way bigger than it was supposed to be. Wow. Let's make that a lot smaller. So we're going from a picture. And I'm going to tell you right now that the line that I'm drawing goes through the point -2 and -1 and the point 2, 2. I'm going to try to draw that line, but hey, who knows? Sometimes it just doesn't work out good. Good enough. Ella. Ella, do you think you can help me out? How would I approach this from this picture? Okay, so sometimes you're going to have to look to see where it crosses at good spots. On this one, 2 points were already highlighted. So -2, -1, and 2, 2. Where do I go from there then, Ella? Which one's 1? Which one's 1 and which one's 2? Wait. Let me phrase that better then. Which one is the first point? Which one is the second point? Close. You have those backwards. But so what you were trying to describe to me was you said this was 0.1 and this was 0.2. Technically, it doesn't matter, but we'll just like designate one. So you did it good, except for you had the x's on top and the y's on the bottom. So the top would be 2 minus negative 1. So y2 minus y1. The bottom would be 2 minus negative 2. Otherwise, very good job. So then we would have 3 over 4. And then that's done. Why don't I'll just leave this same graph up here. I'll have you guys try one from the same graph, but I'll pick different points. This is the point negative 2, 4, and goes through the point 0, negative 2. So I will draw this one, but why don't you guys see if you can find the slope on your own through these, what happened there? That's good enough. Jeez, that was bad. I don't think I can move it to make it nice though. Yeah, that works. Garrett? Garrett, are you going to be the ringer that comes help me out here? Nope, that's okay. I was hoping you could tell me how to do it. So we'll kind of finish it together. Good start. Good start. Negative 2, but yes. And you could have done it the other order, where you could have done 4 minus negative 2, and then negative 2 minus 0. It still works, but correct. So negative 6 over 2. And so, Garrett, what do I get as my answer? Good. Look at that off the top of your head. Okay, good. Good job. So example 2 was just other forms. So I probably should have been better and said this was like A. So example 2 has other forms, also from a table. So if I made a table, and I'm not going to have you guys try one of these on your own. I don't think you need to. I think we'll just do one together. Who hasn't gone? Jack? Jack hasn't gone. So I'll call on Jack because then it's like Garrett's calling on Jack, since Jack always calls on Garrett. It's fair game. Jack, do you think you could help me out finding the slope from this table? Okay. I'm sorry, Garrett. I guess he didn't want to do the problem that bad that he left the meeting. Rocio, do you think you could help me out? Oh my, what? Oh. I don't know, you just tell me what to do. Anything. You're in charge. That's a great start. Yep, you pick any 2 points. Which 2 did you pick? Okay, so the first 2. Sure. What do I... Good, good, good. So if I get this one, the answer is undefined because I can't actually do this. If you try typing that in your calculator, it'll say error. An undefined slope just means it's straight up and down. That's perfect. Good. I think I'll call this one good and move on from here. Oh, that's all right. Oh, you went to go click unmute and then you hit end. That's right. It was pretty funny. It was really good comedic timing. I am going to skip example 3 because example 3 was word problems from a picture, so it was exactly like example 2. And since we only have an hour, I didn't want to use up all that time from you guys. So example 4 is finding slope from an equation. And I'm going to do it differently than the book does. Because the way the book does it, yeah, it's slower and it's, I don't know, you're going to learn how to do it this way tomorrow anyway, so. Okay, there is 2 methods. I will tell you the book method. I'm just not going to do it because to me it's more work. But if you like the book method, then you can certainly use that way. The book method is to use x and y intercepts. So remember, the finger method is like you cross off one at a time. So if I cross off the y's, I get an x-intercept of 5, which would be the point 5, 0. And if I cross off too much. If I cross off the x's, I would get a y-intercept of -6, which is going to be the point -0, -6. And from this, you can find the slope between these 2 points. So -6 minus 0 over 0 minus 5, which would be -6 over -5, which is 6/5. So this method certainly is not bad, and I wouldn't be shocked if some of you guys prefer this method. The other method that I was going to show you was only because you're going to learn this method shortly anyway. So the other method is to solve for y. So if I solve for y, I would subtract 6x from both sides. And then this would say -5y equals -6x plus 30, or 30 minus 6x, whatever you want to write. And then I would divide everything by -5. I need to scroll down a little bit. And when I do that, I end up getting the same answer. So the number that is on the x is your slope. And I bet some of you remember this equation, the slope-intercept equation, but we're going to do a lot more with it. But this would be the slope. So whichever method you guys prefer, you can do either one. Like I said, I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked if some of you like the intercept method, because it's kind of straightforward. I was only going to show this method because that's something we're going to have to do in the future anyway. So you pick whichever way you like. But I do have one for you guys to try so that you can pick. Yeah, I mean, like, you pick whichever one works. I mean, that's the good thing about math. The good thing about math is you guys can pick different methods. So why don't you guys try to find the slope from the equation, oh god, I already wrote it wrong, 2x plus 3y equals 12. You guys can pick whichever method you like, but try to find the slope. And when we go over it, we'll do both ways together. Okay, Caleb. So, since I know you like doing it, you said you like doing it with the intercept way. Do you think you could guide me when you get to that point? I don't know if you're done or not, but do you think you could guide me on how you did it? Yep. Okay. Good. Perfect. And then the slope you got from that was what? Ooh, close. Backwards. So it'd be 4 minus 0 over 0 minus 6. But the order doesn't matter. You're right. You just had them upside down. Okay. Good. You had a perfect setup though. So, oh god, I almost screwed up. Negative 2/3. All right. I will show the other method if somebody did it the other method. The other method is you solve for y. So I would subtract 2x from both sides. 3y equals 12 minus 2x. And then I divide everything by 3. And the slope is going to be the number that is on x. So negative 2/3. So either way you do it, it works. Okay. That's pretty much what we're going to focus on for slopes. So that's basically just a whole bunch of different ways of finding slopes, whether it's from a picture, whether it's from points, whether it's from an equation. That's a lot of stuff about slope. 5.5 is all about midpoints. And you probably haven't, you'll do a lot more with midpoints in geometry. But in Algebra 1 at least, we're going to kind of focus on talking about a midpoint. If you don't know what I mean by midpoint, if you have a line, like a line segment or something like that, basically the point that is directly in the middle of them is referred to as the midpoint. Now we're going to kind of focus on midpoints on a graph. So the example we're going to do is we have the line CD. Okay. So in this instance, C would be one end, D would be the other. So this would be the line segment CD. This is the notation that they'll use a lot in geometry. We have line CD with endpoints C at -2, -1, and D 4, 2. Find the midpoint. Find the coordinates of the midpoint. Okay. Now, luckily, I definitely have seen people try this different methods. If you want to find the answer a different way than the formula, you're welcome to do it. So the formula itself looks imposing. But basically, you're going to find the average of the two x's and the average of the two y's. Okay? So I know I have seen some people in the past just look at individual numbers, -2 and 4, and they try to find the number that is directly in the middle of -2 and 4. And you can do it that way. And it works. This formula does the same thing, just with a formula. So whichever way you prefer, go for it. So x1 is -2. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Olivia. You don't even have to ask. -2 plus 4 over 2. So x1 was -2, x2 was 4. Y1 is -1, y2 is 2, divided by 2. So -2 plus 4 is 2, divided by 2. -1 plus 2 is 1, divided by 2. So my midpoint is the point 1, 1/2. Most people prefer using the formula, just because everything is laid out for you. Hardest part by far, remembering the formula. But if you guys are taking notes, that should easily be, that's going to be the easiest part of it is if you have everything written down. Why don't I put one up here for you guys to try? Find the midpoint of -2, 3 and 5, -3. Basically, I'm just going to, the actual problem would be a lot more words, and it would say, the line that contains the point -2, 3. I'll just skip that part for the problem for you guys to try. See if you guys can find the midpoint. I'll give you a minute to try this one because it takes some calculations. Let's see. AJ, we haven't gone with you yet. I have no idea if you're done or not. I'm going to guess you're not. But when you get to that point, do you think you can walk me through on how to find the answer? And I could help you out if you want some help too. Okay. Yes, that is what you, that's right. I mean, what I wrote is correct. I think that's what you were telling me to write. Yeah, you can write 3 halves or 1.5 or whatever you want to write. Yeah, that works. And then 0 over 2, you just write 0. Yeah, that's the midpoint. It might seem wrong, but that was right. No, good. Does somebody else have a question on maybe they're not sure why I put a number up there that I did, anything like that? Because we actually only have one example left, so I don't want to go too fast if this is feeling difficult. Okay. Okay. Well, then let me do the last example. It's still talking about midpoints, but it's basically kind of reversed. So 5.5 example 2. We are finding an endpoint. So M is the midpoint. I'll actually write this one out because it might seem confusing otherwise. M is the midpoint of line segment AB. So A is one endpoint, B is another endpoint, M is the middle. A has coordinates 2, 2. So that's one of the endpoints. And M has coordinates 4, negative 3. Find the coordinates of point B. I really hate writing the word coordinates. It feels wrong. Coordinates. Okay. So, if I want to make a little sketch, just to help myself picture this, 2, 2 is right here. This is point A. The midpoint is the point 4, negative 3. That tells me that B should be down there, because M is the middle, and B would be exactly the same distance away, farther. Okay, so I know that my answer for B should be bigger. Yeah, or did I say the wrong number? I drew it at the correct spot. This is the point 4, negative 3. B is what we're trying to figure out. So you don't have to draw it, but a lot of times it just helps you visualize what to do. So here's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to write out the midpoint formula again. And then I'm going to put in all the numbers I know. So the midpoint is 4, negative 3. And then I know x1 and y1. So basically I'm missing x2 and y2 because that's point B. So I'm going to kind of like set this up as two problems. I'll color code this to try to help you organize it. I'm going to find x's in green, and I'm going to find the y's in pink. So over here, I know that 4 is the midpoint of 2 plus x2 divided by 2. And I know that negative 3 is the middle of negative 3. Wait. Ooh, I almost screwed that up. We'll go back to my pencils. This was supposed to be 2. Because it was the point 2, 2. Whew, that was close. I almost did the whole problem with the wrong info. Two plus y2 divided by 2. So I'm going to solve these separately. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. And what that does is cancel off the divided by 2. So then this would say 8 equals 2 plus x2. And then I will subtract 2 to cancel off that plus 2. So x2 is 6. And I'm going to do the same steps over here. Times by 2 to cancel off the divide by 2. And then this would say negative 6 equals 2 plus y2. And then I'm going to subtract 2 to cancel off that plus 2. So y2 equals negative 8. Now that actually makes sense to me because this picture looks like that. Because if you can do this problem a different way. From 2 to 4 was plus 2. So I could add another 2 to get to 6. From 2 to negative 3 was minus 5. So I could minus 5 again to get to negative 8. So you can do this problem different ways. But my answer when I'm done is 6, negative 8. And this one definitely is more work than the other one. I'm hoping the way I wrote it up there can kind of make sense. Because the hardest part is organizing the information. Okay. I'm hoping I didn't totally lose you here with that last one, because I know that one seems harder than the rest of the problems. So I'll be done here. That's going to leave you guys 20 minutes to work on homework if you want. Honestly, you should probably be able to finish the homework in that 20 minutes. If not, a little bit more. I will absolutely be on for these last 20 minutes if you want to ask questions or anything. Otherwise, you can certainly get off whenever. And then I will also be on from 1:10 to 2:30 today if you want to stop on and ask questions while you're doing homework later. This class gets done at 12:30, but I mean, like, we're done live whenever we're done live. Christian and Kira already left. Christian, are you taking the test here today? Okay, you were supposed to take it yesterday. That's why I'm asking. Okay, so because I've got everybody else's corrected, and I can't like open it up until everybody takes it. So if you could take it today, that'd be great. All right. What? No, you don't have to do that. Nope. You're welcome, Tisha. All right, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow otherwise. Yep. See ya.